In the Superman saga, the superhero comic created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster in the 1930s, this powerful character changes more than just his outfit. As the invincible alien from a distant planet, Superman retreats to his fortress of solitude to rejuvenate his powers and commune with his ancestors. Yet, when he dons his human disguise as Clark Kent, he craves human interaction and experiences the sting of loneliness. This duality of Superman's existence, in fact, mirrors a paradox we all face in our lives. It's called the solitude paradox. Just like Superman, we all grapple with a unique blend of solitude and loneliness. We seek solitude for introspection, to recharge, and to reconnect with our inner selves. But when solitude is imposed, not chosen, it may morph into loneliness, a state often seen as negative and unwelcome. This is the solitude paradox. While loneliness is commonly seen as negative and unwelcome, choosing solitude is often viewed as a virtue. Consider this. Priests, monks, and nuns are commended for resisting the basic human longing for meaningful relationships with a significant other. Individuals who meditate frequently embark on retreats that minimize most forms of human interaction, and many religions honor and encourage those who step away from their daily lives to engage more profoundly with their spirituality and with God. How puzzling, isn't it? Solitude is often perceived through the lens of loneliness. However, scientific insights reveal that solitude, when chosen, can be linked with positive personality and cognitive attributes. Let's delve a bit deeper. Psychology distinguishes two types of solitude. Self-determined motivation for solitude indicates a choice to spend time alone for enjoyment and personal enrichment. In contrast, preference for solitude signifies a choice for one's own company, irrespective of the underlying reasons. A 2022 study found that only preference for solitude was associated with agreeableness, the tendencies towards self-congruent behavior, an interest in one's own emotions, and a sense of freedom from external pressures. Interestingly, neither form of solitude correlated with introversion, yet there's a nuanced aspect to this. While self-selected solitude can benefit our mental well-being, imposed isolation can diminish life satisfaction and productivity. The benefits of solitude, such as psychological growth, hinge on whether the solitude is chosen or imposed. So the next time you find yourself alone, embrace the solitude. Around 5,300 years ago, a man, now known as Otzi, lived and ultimately met his violent fate in the Alps. His frozen, well-preserved body, discovered in 1991, held secrets of a bygone era. An arrowhead lodged in his shoulder, a blow to his head, a copper axe, and arrows in his possession painted a picture of survival and combat. Otzi, separated from his community, faced his end alone. His story underscores the importance of communal bonds in our evolutionary past. Otzi's tale is a testament to the evolutionary role of loneliness. Some psychological theories, such as John Bowlby's attachment theory, suggest that the deep bonds we form with others are rooted in our evolutionary need for survival. Bowlby argued that our earliest relationships with our caregivers lay the groundwork for our adult relationships. It is this innate desire to form connections that drives us to seek companionship and community. It's a survival mechanism, honed over thousands of years. Thus, the feeling of loneliness can be seen as a remnant of nature's nudge, a sensation that prompted ancient humans to reconnect with their tribe, much like hunger signals the need to eat. Fast forward to today, although we are not constantly worried about survival, loneliness still serves as a signal. In our bustling and hyper-connected world, loneliness can often seem like an incongruity, but it's more common than you might think. It's not about how many people you're surrounded by, but rather the quality of the connections you have. It's about feeling understood, valued, and cared for. That's because loneliness is subjective. It's your brain's perception of your social needs not being met. In some cases, the sensation of loneliness motivates us to seek community and connection for our well-being. It acts as an inner compass, directing us towards meaningful social interactions that nourish our emotional and mental health. However, it's important to note that prolonged experiences of loneliness can have detrimental effects on our health, akin to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So next time you feel a bit lonely, remember, it's a natural part of being human, an echo of your evolutionary past. Have you ever felt alone in a room full of people? Well, that's loneliness, but it's not just a solitary feeling, it's a complicated emotion that comes in various forms, each with its own unique subtleties. It's critical to understand these distinctions because different types of loneliness require different approaches for their management. We'll explore this multifaceted experience, starting with its duration. Ever felt lonely for a day or two? That's probably transient loneliness. Transient loneliness changes from day to day, influenced by our social surroundings. It's the temporary type, often a natural response to life's transitions like relocating or starting a new job. Then there's situational loneliness. This kind might arise from a breakup, the loss of a loved one, or even during global crises that lead to isolation like the COVID pandemic. It's more intense than transient loneliness and is directly linked to a particular cause. But the most concerning is chronic loneliness, a deep, lingering feeling with serious health implications, from mental health challenges like depression to a decrease in life expectancy. But loneliness isn't just about duration. It's also about the nature of the relationships we lack. Ever felt disconnected from your community? That's social loneliness. It's the feeling of inadequacy in your social circle or feeling cut off from your community. It often arises from missing deep emotional bonds in your social life. Romantic loneliness comes into play in the absence of a significant other or lack of emotional support in an existing relationship. Then there's familial loneliness, which surfaces in the absence of meaningful connections with close family members, be it parents, siblings, or children. And lastly, work-related loneliness can emerge in a work environment where you feel unsupported or your ideas and needs are overlooked. So, loneliness is a complex and multi-dimensional experience. Understanding its different forms can be the first step in addressing it, whether it involves building a wider social network, fostering deeper personal connections, or adapting to life's changes. Each form of loneliness has its own path to resolution. Have you ever wondered how feeling lonely affects your mind? Let's dive into the intricate bond between loneliness and cognition. Loneliness is more than just an emotional state. It's not necessarily about being alone, but about feeling alone. It's the perceived lack of meaningful social connections that stirs the pot of loneliness. And this perception can ignite a series of cognitive transformations. Picture loneliness as an ancient evolutionary alarm bell. It's a signal designed over millennia, nudging us to rejoin our tribe. This alarm bell sends our cognitive system into a sort of social survival mode, vigilantly scanning the horizon for social cues and potential risks. This constant state of alertness, like a night watchman always on duty, can be mentally draining. It siphons off cognitive resources that could have been otherwise employed. This is the intricate dance between loneliness and cognition. The cognitive cost of loneliness is most evident in our attention. When we experience loneliness, our attention is involuntarily drawn to social cues, as if our brain is constantly searching for a way to reconnect. This can be likened to an attention deficit phenomenon, where our focus is so consumed with social stimuli that other areas may suffer. Loneliness can also have a significant impact on memory. Studies have suggested that the onset of loneliness in old age can coincide with a decline in memory function, creating a double-edged sword of emotional and cognitive struggle. Interestingly, the brains of chronically lonely individuals show intensified activity when processing socially related words. It's as if their minds are desperately clinging to any form of social interaction, even if it's just a word. While some types of loneliness might be alleviated by changing one's social environment, other types may require strategies to address the scarcity of cognitive resources. Therefore, understanding the cognitive cost of loneliness opens doors for individually adjusted intervention. Have you ever felt profoundly alone, even when surrounded by people? This sensation is loneliness, a universal emotion that is more than just an emotional state. It's a signal, a cry from within that tells us we yearn for a more fulfilling social life. Let's dive into how we can manage and overcome feelings of loneliness in effective and healthy ways. Two key factors drive this feeling: a perceived lack of significant social interactions and a heightened sensitivity to social cues. A solution, therefore, may come by addressing one or both of these factors. Loneliness can be a fleeting feeling, perhaps due to temporary circumstances such as being away from loved ones or when those in your social circle are preoccupied with their issues. One of the most effective ways to combat this short-term feeling of loneliness is by increasing our opportunities for social interaction. Engaging in group activities is an excellent way to connect with others. Consider joining a book club, a sports team, or perhaps a hobby group. These activities may not only provide you with a chance to meet new people, but also to engage in meaningful experiences, promoting personal growth. Another powerful tool is volunteering. By contributing to our community, we foster a sense of purpose and belonging. Volunteering allows you to form connections with others, all while making a positive impact in the world around you. Hence, short-term loneliness need not be a cause for concern, rather it can be an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Chronic loneliness, however, is a more persistent, long-lasting feeling with significant impact on your physical health and cognition. This type of loneliness might stem from a lack of adaptive social skills. These skills, such as making small talk or maintaining long-term social relationships, are usually learned during childhood by observing and imitating those around us. However, the learning process can sometimes be incomplete. The good news is that these skills can be intentionally acquired later in life through courses or even instructional videos online. We've linked one in the description. A crucial aspect of dealing with chronic loneliness is changing your thought patterns. Often, loneliness can cloud your judgment, leading you to overlook deep, meaningful connections that already exist in your life. Practices like mindfulness meditation can help free your mind from these preoccupations. Even short, daily practices have been shown to lessen the burden of chronic loneliness. Another effective approach is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which has been shown to modify maladaptive behaviors and thoughts. Coping with loneliness isn't just about surrounding yourself with people, it's also about developing the right social skills and building cognitive and emotional resilience. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Noticed a mistake or have a brilliant suggestion for our upcoming videos? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below.